Why? What do you mean, Ian? I've been awake for a while. I was just doing other work and got, like, I wouldn't say distracted. More like I was just debating not streaming tonight and just continuing to do work, like other work, but you know. Just decisions. Let's see here. Yeah. Ah, hello, Chase. Yeah. We went over work. Yup. This will take me a minute to figure out how to do this. I think his pupils should be a little wider than that. That's, yeah. Who are we drawing today? Just a guy. not, not who? Orlando. I haven't been there in years. I do like going to Orlando. It's a nice place, but you know. Ah, Sierras, hello. Why the nervous face? I just hit the wrong key. Yeah, here, wait a minute. Cool. Did I change something on accident? I did. We'll do that. There we go. Ah, damn, where's my... Now I have my windows all fucked up. Yeah. Please move window. There we go. There we go. Now I can actually see everything. Welcome to the end of May. I mean, I don't know, I barely noticed this month. You hear about the May My Wolf game for what? Eh? Is it just people making Adastra clones? Is that what I'm supposed to understand from that? Best one wins bragging rights. Oh my god. But just bragging rights. What is this? Don't you want blood from a challenge? Like, come on. Come on. Oh yeah, I guess just the heads up. What's that playthrough? In case of emergency is ending this week. The final video is scheduled for Saturday. Just to let you guys know. How do you feel about in case of emergency? I enjoyed it. I was warned before I started the game that you get to a point where the writer is just like, I'm done. We're going straight to the finale. And boy, does it do that. I love how they set up that you're gonna go on like semi-episodic adventures for like more morality tales and such, and then they just say, "Fuck it, we're ending it now." I don't want to continue making this for another 4 years. I think that's funny. Let's see here. Just purely out of pocket and free time. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, it's just like my... It's just like old Shonen Jump manga that I like. Not the tone I was expecting, but it's what I got. Will I play the other routes? Probably not. Just don't got the time, unless we want this to go on for another, like, 3 months. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? It was short. Good, good. It means I can also wholly ignore the characters I don't care about. Uh, which is like half a cast. It's like, nope. I got the character I wanted. It's all that matters. I don't really care about the rest. Good. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Ah, Imbrobro. Hello. What am I drawing? Just a guy. If I can get, like, this body shape right. Ah, serious. I just can't do that anymore. I can't justify even, like, scrolling through a game off screen anymore. I just don't got the time for that. Casually playing games. Never heard of that. Like... I'll readjust the size of his head later. Have you ever drawn Kudzu? I've drawn Kudzu a handful of times. I think he's always, like, the most requested of the Echo cast. Because no one suggests for me to draw Leo. That's an inevitability. So... it's like I get asked to draw Kudzu, and pretty much no one else. I'll dig it. There's only one recent Kudzu drawing. The rest of them were from, like, over a year ago? Because that was back when I, like, basically exclusively did mostly Echo art. The rest exists because of me. That's definitely true. It's not that I dislike Kudzu. It's that I prefer another boy. Are the Echo Cows going to jam as well? No, Ian. We will never get over dabbing. It's never gonna go away. Sometimes I think about, like, redoing the password ones, you know, actually making them look nice. You know, I already have the base, like, sketches done. Like, I just have to, like, redo the draft, which would be pretty quick, and then actually do that. Dunk on rope on sprite poses? What, like, do characters in those poses? Well, who would be in the Jesus shit, you son of a bitch pose? Like... You know, the most iconic line from Danganronpa. Oh, I'm sorry, from Dungeon Grandpa. Any Clint enjoyers? I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that's like... I would a Clint post, like, rehab. You know... Then again, this particular character right here, like, I would a Jeremy pre-rehab. He's cute. He makes me completely discard Carl as a character because I'm like, I already have the cute tubby boy over here. Bye, Carl. I don't need you. I got a better boy over here. I don't know what it is about Jeremy. Because he has, like, nothing. He has so little screen time. And yet, for some reason, it's enough for me. Like, I don't know. I don't exactly know what happened there. He's a fox. Doesn't even show up half the time. I know! And yet, for some reason, I'm like, oh no, he's got a charm to him. I'm not sure what that charm is, but he's got it. Either that, or I just have awful taste. But it can't be that. So... It can't possibly be that. Might mention Charm. It's fine. Some say Josh is still Dabby. Look. Look. Mega Puppy is fine. How do we want... I don't know. I'm not satisfied with this. Gotta figure out how much chub should this lad have? Alright, I'll have to remember to put in... We'll just... I forgot that he had gauges. Those fell out of fashion, didn't they? I remember I knew a lot of people who were getting them back in the day. I don't know, I haven't seen them in years. Like, just people with them, so I don't know. I wonder if people, like that sort of thing still. They gross me out. They kinda do for me as well. Like, live your life, though. Like, if that's what you want, like, sure. Like, I certainly won't be getting such things. Who dis? This is Jeremy from Echo. We'll have to round that out a little bit more, because this is Jeremy we're talking about. He's a cute round boy. But I also know I'm not ready. What do you mean? Okay, so like I guess I just never understood that line of thought. I'm like, what do you mean, like, ready? What do you mean an X is too much for you? I realized that, like, nothing in fiction really bothers me. Cause definitely, like, if you looked at, like, the list of, like, here are my favorite manga and anime, people will look at me and go, like, Josh, what the fuck? Like... What do you mean your favorite manga is Bakudo no Hour? Like... And then I just have to shrug and go like, well, you know, it was kind of lit. And, you know, the glowing recommendation I got back in the day for it, and by recommendation, I got a never actually, like, consume this piece of media, and I'm like, lit, let's go! It's, like, one word, Bakura no, and then, like, it has, like, the English word hour, like, after it. So, Bakura no hour. Do not watch the anime. The anime is bad. But the opening is amazing. It's weird. Here, I'll just type it in chat real quick. Bakura no hour. There we go. What's it about? Ooh, I don't know. Will I get... it is about a bunch of kids who get told, hey, if you sign this contract, you get to play a game. Right? That's fun, right? And it's a mecha game. You get to pilot a mech. Everyone loves mecha, right? Yeah. So the kids do that. And the mech is real. And every period of time that's different per bout, an alien will come to Earth, and one of the kids will have to pilot the mech to kill this alien. Like, this alien, like, robot that will come down, and, you know, so it's 1v1. Have fun, kids. And nothing bad happens. And there are no... you know... It's fine. Cool manga, though. The anime kind of sucks because it turns it into an action series, while the manga is a drama. And that's mainly because, like, the director of the anime fucking hated the manga. So he was just like, I'll turn this into whatever I want. It's unfortunate. It's pretty good. I remember when the same writer did Digimon, but not Digimon, and that was pretty cool as well. What, Shadow Star? Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that was fun. Here, we'll do Digimon, but, like, probably more scarring to the audience. But I really liked Bakura. I think my favorite work from him is Bakura no. It has a little more actual heart in it. Like, I find that most of this author's work, like, is a little too edgy just for the sake of it, like Shadow Star, where I'm like, but Bakura no has, like, more of a point, I guess, at least to me. Maybe it's just because it's a little more resonant. Where I like what he was, like, going for in the manga with that. But that's definitely a manga that's, like, you can never actually recommend this to people. This will be too sad for most people. And I'm like, what, you don't want to see 14, like, kids die one after another over the course of 15 volumes? Shit was lit. The child prostitute was cool. You see, that's like a statement that when you take out of context is horrifying. But then everyone who's read the manga agrees with that. Like, 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 it's like, oh, she was cool. Like her chapter is really neat. Now I will clarify, I'm talking about the girl who is doing this of her own free will, not the girl who was blackmailed into this. So, you know, different girl I'm talking about. Like the girl who was doing it by her own choice, like she was cool. That entire like arc I really liked, like when she was the protagonist for a bit. Like sure, Kitty is my favorite. That one's my favorite arc in the manga. Because the manga is just it's split up to where each arc is just one of the kids. Like they become the point of view character for their arc. Most of them are kind of forgettable to me. It's like, oh well, you just like, oh the guy who's like, oh I just like, I'm an orphan and I have to make sure that my 2 siblings are taken care of when I'm gone. Like, oh, sure, it's cute, right? Because it's like he's a good older brother, and the drama is just, oh, I have to make sure they're taken care of. So you see him doing a bunch of, like, during his arc, it's mostly just him spending time with his 2 siblings, while, like, making sure that when he inevitably dies from the robot fight, they're taken care of. Like, his is really boring, because it's like, you know what you're getting going into that arc, and it's pretty early, so, like, I get it. And I'm like, well, what about the... what was it, the, oh, God, I forget that one kid situation. It was, like, the kid whose, like, parents were, like, a CEO of a company, and he was just kind of, like, fine with it. He was like, I had a pretty pampered life. Like, it kind of sucks it's ending now, but, like, whatever. Does his bout, dies happy. And you're like, ah, cool. Ah, hello, Bucky. What was that early stream a few days ago? Just, I don't know, just doing work. Figured I'd stream it. How is his... Yeah, let me zoom in to Jeremy's face real quick. There we go. We'll... There we go. No, that was like the only midday stream I've done. I'm usually asleep during the day. I say usually. But this month has like fucked up that for me. Cause most of this month there was actually construction on my street. So I've just been awake during the daytime. For like half of this month. Cause it's like, well, I can't sleep with construction. But, you know, maybe next month I can get back to my normal, very nighttime schedule where I'm getting 8 hours of sleep instead of, like, 4. But, you know, it's fine. Why don't you sabotage and kill them all? I got out of that profession. Let's see here. Yeah. Eto. He's got floofy ears, because he's a fennec fox. He's the only fennec fox in this game. Because he's the cutest. Yeah, I honestly can't tell you guys why it's this lad for me. Maybe it's that smile. Have you seen his smiling portrait? It's so cute. It's all good. I don't know, another manga that I really like is what was it? Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. That one's pretty goated. That one's like goated for sure. I like how about Leo with Jeremy's belly chunk? See, it's weird because I'm not usually into chunk. That's not like my thing. So like I don't know. I think like a like dad bod is about as far as I go. I hear that the anime is really. You don't read the you don't watch the anime, like. Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer was like a cult classic for like 15 years. Everyone like loves that manga. You ignore the anime because one, it came out like 20 years too late, for one thing. And it's just, no, it's not good. It's not good. I watched one episode of the anime and was like, unfortunate that this will be the representation for this manga from now on. Because most people, when they hear manga good, they'll just go watch the anime. Which is the unfortunate. It's kind of why I liked that Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer didn't have an anime for the longest time. When that was announced, I was like, it's over, guys. It's over. But that's actually my favorite manga author. Satoshi Mizukami. Like, I have loved all of his work. Like, I think Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer is my favorite from him. I understand why people, like, look very awkwardly on it, just because, like, it's one of his least high-concept stories. Like, Spirit Circle is almost immediately arresting to people due to its concept. And I like Spirit Circle. Like, that one's a good manga, right? Like, you know, you have that goated moment where, like, the main character is talking to the villain, and he just says, like, if you had been born normal, maybe you could have been happy. Like, and you're just kind of like, oh. Like, bruh, you're just gonna say that to the villain? Oh, that manga's real good though. I'm glad it's short as well. Like, that's something that I really like about Mizukami's work, is that he'll have what normally would be a 30-volume manga and then do it in 10. Cause what, Spirit Circle is like 6 volumes or some shit? Yeah, that looks like 6 volumes on my shelf. And Biscuit Hammer's only like 10. And then you have Planet With, which is just like a 13-episode anime. Because he did an anime for some reason. And that anime was weird, because it was a 13-episode series that probably, like, If you had a different writer, it would have been 50 episodes. But because it was Mizukami, he was like, I'll do it in 13. Here, let's have what would normally be a 13-episode long story arc. Do it in 3. Whatever. Have a Naruto Shippuden style time skip. Sure. And it just works. And it doesn't feel rushed. And you're like, holy shit, who cares? All, like, everything can be paced like this. We just do it. Have him write Dragon Ball? See, the problem is that, like, people are gonna shoot me for this. Dragon Ball justifies its length, not because of its story, but its lack of story. You are not, like, when you sit down and you read Dragon Ball, because I've read Dragon Ball from start to finish. I've done that hurdle. You are not reading a story. You are reading, like, vignettes of gags that are duct taped together. And I probably could read Dragon Ball forever. Because you're just reading, like, oh, here's this thing that Goku's doing today. And by that, I mean, I hate Z. Like, when they did start making longer story arcs, that killed Dragon Ball for me. So, like, regular Dragon Ball, I could read forever. When you get to Z, I will hang myself. That shit's not fun. And I know that that's a controversial take to be like, OG Dragon Ball so much better than Z. But Z fucking sucks. Dragon Ball used to be hilarious. I think it still is. You know, I haven't read Dragon Ball Super for about 2 years now, but I used to keep up with the Super manga. And that was a, like, pretty fun return to form. The only thing that kind of sucks about, or that sucked, I don't know anymore, right? But when I was reading the Super manga, the only thing that was, like, really dire was the art kind of sucked. Let me guess, because of Beerus? Like, I like Beerus, but, like, there were so many things that, like, the Super era legitimately had going for it. It focused on much shorter arcs, so it had a lot more breathing room to, like, do whatever. There's an entire, like, sequence in the manga in which it's just the cast of Dragon Ball playing Mario Kart. Like, they're just playing Mario Kart. Kid Trunks wins, he gets first place, and Beerus Hakai's his controller, and because he's just so angry. And there's like a gag scene later on where Beerus is now playing Mario Kart really late at night because he's like, I won't lose again. Like, he's training to be a good Mario Kart player because he doesn't want to lose to a child in a children's game. Like, shit like that, I love that shit. That's Dragon Ball. I could care less about the whole, like, oh my god, the future arc. Goku Black is in the future and destroying time. Like, I don't care. I don't care. But then you had shit like the Universe 6 arc, which was, like, really fun. Like, that was just a bunch of gag battle scenes, and I know that people are really meh on the Universe 6 tournament because it's a bunch of, like, gag fights and scenarios. Like, you had that guy that was, like, he couldn't be hurt. Like, no matter what Goku, like, did, this Winnie the Pooh looking ass, right, just absorbs attacks. But the guy himself is really weak, so, like, he can't beat Goku, so Goku just throws him out of the ring, because it's, like, a actual tournament with rules, so he just tosses him out of the ring. Like, that shit's fun. Like, that's Dragon Ball. Do more of that. I love the guy that Vegeta fought in that tournament. That was also really fun. Where like Vegeta also couldn't hurt his opponent for reasons, but his opponent was like his opponent had really, really low self-esteem. So like Vegeta just starts insulting him, not because he's like, oh, I found out he has low self-esteem, I'll just insult him. He's just was like angry at his opponent, so he just starts yelling at him, and his opponent cries so much that he forfeits the match. Like, more of this, please. More of this gag humor that's what I come to Dragon Ball for. Perfect win, right? Shit's so much fun. Because I always thought, like, Vegeta post-Saiyan Saga, like, works a lot better as a comic relief character than he does as a edgelord, I am the prince of all Saiyans. Because I hate that characterization for Vegeta. I'm like, nah, this man was dethroned. He's the bottom of the barrel. He's the bottom bitch in his marriage as well, and, like, we know that. Ah, Vegeta, the bottom. Like... I don't know why every woman Dragon Ball is the top in their relationship, but that's also a fun gag. I kind of like this, like, constantly ongoing gag that, like, all the women are, like, powerful, but not in power level. But they're just powerful people. It's kind of fun. Like, no one's going to, like, backtalk Bulma, you know? Beerus learned his lesson. Beerus slapped Bulma once. Only once. And he realized that was a mistake and never did so again. What a fun... Maybe I should catch up on the Super manga. I only read as far as, like, I finished the Galactic Prisoner arc. And kind of stopped reading after that. I'm having the troubles. How scary is she? This is Bulma. She is the only female character in all of fiction who has all of the rights. She does what she wants. She gets away with everything. Remember, she's strong enough to domesticate Vegeta. She does what she wants. I love that she settles for Vegeta too. It just makes Vegeta feel so pathetic. And that's amazing. More of that, please. She distracted a god who was going to destroy the world for a few minutes. That was also kind of funny. She didn't win that fight, but she did attempt to 1v1 a god. We're going to call him a god for simplicity's sake, but you know, Zamasu. Mr. I'm going to marry myself. Anyone else think that scene was really awkward? When, like, Zamasu met Zamasu, and they were just like, finally, someone on par with myself. And they just hug, and you're like, oh. Like, and they linger on the shot of them hugging for, like, a little too long. Where it just starts coming off as really awkward. You know what I mean? It's a little awkward. They were cool, though. Like, Zamasu and Zamasu, they were cool. I'm saying it this way for simplicity's sake. Not really for spoiler reasons, because I think everyone knows, or anyone that cares already knows. That, and, you know, I remember in the days where people had to break out the spreadsheets to try to, like, the Kingdom Hearts style spreadsheets of how does it make sense that Zamasu is Goku Black? How did this happen? And the answer is don't think about it. The answer is just don't think about it. If Zamasu only knows about Goku and the Saiyans because of he met Goku who was investigating Goku Black, then how would he originally have found out to then become Goku Black? To steal... Like... But why? Why was this so complicated for no reason? It was like this was written at the last second, and the entire pitch of that arc was, hey, we're bringing back Future Trunks, and evil Goku will be the villain, and they didn't think much past that, and so when it came time to explain the story, they didn't really have an explanation, which is what happened. How very Dragon Ball. I love how every arc about Trunks is like an absolute clusterfuck in terms of writing. Where they're just like, nope. Because I'm that person that still holds deep in my heart that the Cell Saga is bad. And people only like it out of nostalgia. That arc is so poorly written. But people are just like, but wasn't it hype? When Gohan went Super Saiyan 2? And I'm like, no. No, I hate Gohan. I hate Gohan. He's the worst character in the franchise. People only like Gohan because they projected on him as a child. Like, that's the only reason. That character sucks. You know, is it a coincidence that Dragon Ball became terrible as soon as Gohan was introduced? Was that a coincidence? Well, I don't think so. I'm so hateful towards him. All the time. But he deserves it. He sucks. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. Though I will take Dragon Ball over a lot of like the modern Shonen Jump manga series. I find that the newer ones are really dull. I feel like they hinge too much on trying to have like a striking concept. You know what I mean? Like you have the Jujutsu Kaisen thing, which is like the antagonist and protagonist share a body. You know, that's the sales pitch, right? I don't know where that manga went after that, but you know, that was like the original sales pitch. And you have things like the weird Muscle and Magic series where it's like it's the magic school, but the one guy can't use magic, so he just works out and overcomes magic through strength. Like that one's really popular, and that's the concept. That's it. Like just, oh, this guy's going to beat wizards by just being strong. I don't know where that manga went after that either, but that was like, I always try reading like the newer Shonen Jump manga on release. So there usually only is 1 or 2 issues out, and I'll read those and be like, really? This is what we're doing? Like, it leans too hard into the gimmick territory for me, and it like makes me bounce off immediately. It's probably why, like, when I was still reading Shonen Jump magazine, like, one of the only more recent manga that I ended up really liking was Zip Man, which I know Zip Man got canceled very fast. It was basically canceled on arrival. It was really funny. And like no one cared about that manga because it was the most basic setup humanly possible. And I was actually kind of into that. I was like, oh, there are no gimmicks. There's no gimmicks at all. It's just, hey, this lad is a hero. He doing the thing. Contemporary hero series, go high school, be hero, go. And I'm like, oh, like that's kind of nice. The 2 issues later gets canceled, and I'm like, oh, I see. Okay. It was nice of them to let him finish it, though. Like, sure, it was canceled. Like, we knew it got canceled after, like, 2 issues were released. Oh, music? Did, there we go. Oh, right, it reset itself again. So, like, the repeat turned off. Oh, well. We're just that... And that manga was, like, fine. I would say it's nothing great. Like, don't look into it. It's not worth reading. But I was just kind of like, oh, it was, like, the only modern Shonen Jump manga that I actually, like, kind of liked. And it's just because it was boring. Like, it was boring in a way that almost made it, like, more fun to read. Because you had things like, what is it, the robot made, like, Robo-chan, like, whatever. That lasted for a while, or it's still going, I don't know. And I found that to be a really gimmicky comedy that I just could not be bothered to continue reading. And then I saw that it was, like, still in the magazine, like, a year later, and I'm like, holy shit, what? Like, this made it to, like, 50 issues? I guess good for the manga author, but Jesus. Like, what are we doing? Oh, let's see here. I don't even know what's in the magazine currently. I don't know what's popular in the magazine anymore. I stopped reading it like a few years ago. Which is also when... No, I guess this makes sense, where it's just like, oh, I stopped reading the magazine. So that's why I stopped keeping up with Dragon Ball and One Piece, is just, oh, I'm not reading Shonen Jump anymore. Like... Oh, well. This was around, like, the start of Wano. Not gonna lie, I watched Jujutsu Kaisen. It was... had the art... Oh, what? The... Oh, okay. yeah, they're like the same dude. Or I guess like they're Sharon or something. I don't know. Yeah. I remember originally, like, when they first announced Jujutsu Kaisen, I was like, oh cool, a new occult manga. Like, I haven't, that's neat, you know? We haven't had one of those in the magazine that was, like, pushed in a while, so I was, like, kind of excited for it. And then the first issue dropped, and I was like, it's, like, okay. Then the second issue dropped, and I was like, oh, it's Naruto. Never mind. I'm gone. Goodbye, sir. I like, oh, no, I'm done. Bye-bye. It's like, I read enough chapters of Naruto in my day. I don't want to ever touch anything like that again. And there was so much in the magazine for years that was just chasing after the success of Naruto. And I'm like, why Naruto of all things? There were 2 other manga in that time period, like, that did better than Naruto. Is it just because no one can touch One Piece? Is that it? That people are just like, no, we're not even gonna try to copy this. It's too... Nope, we're not even gonna try. And I'm like, look, I get it. Because One Piece... It's kind of Kino. That's one of those mangas that I look at and go like, does this deserve the clout it gets? And the answer is no. But it also doesn't really deserve any hate for what it's doing. Like, it's just kind of like, I think of it as like the best successor to Dragon Ball, where it's just, hey, you get to enjoy a bunch of quirky characters being fun for like 2 decades. And like, you kind of have an ongoing story, but not really. I know One Piece fans would crucify me for that opinion, but like, are people reading One Piece because, ooh, we're so curious about the mystery of Laugh Tale? Or are you reading it because the cast is really fun? And I think the answer is that the cast is fun. You know, you'll have Brook does his joke, Frankie does his gag. It gets a snicker out of me. Like, like I was surprised. Like when I first started reading One Piece a while back, I was like, oh, I'll stop reading when I get tired of this. And then I read 900 chapters. Well, I guess I read like 700 and then kept up with it until chapter like 900 something. And I was just like, oh wow, I was entertained the whole time. Weird. Like, just like, oh, that I did not expect that. It's just, wow, okay, cool. It's nothing groundbreaking.
Just, oh, what a pleasant comedy series with action elements. Which is probably why it's like lasted as long as it has. And I'll be honest, I've never really touched Bleach. I don't know much about Bleach. Just kinda... That one really passed me by. I think I tried... No, I did try reading Volume 1. And during that experience, I was like, I could be reading Yu Yu Hakusho instead. And then I reread the first arc of Yu Yu Hakusho. And I'm like, stay Kino. Would I go for bat saying that, like, Yu Yu Hakusho is the best, like, Shonen Jump title? I might. In a lot of ways, I actually like Yu Yu Hakusho more than Hunter x Hunter. And it's a lot of, like, the same reasons. Where, like Togashi's next manga, like Hunter x Hunter, is constructed considerably better than Yu Yu Hakusho. The problem is that I can't see myself reading 40 plus volumes with the cast of Hunter x Hunter. I don't care. I read like 8 volumes of that and stopped reading and never went back to it. I went back to it once. I like started over to be like, do I care enough? And then the answer was no. But the cast of Yu Yu Hakusho, like, timeless. And by that I mean they are very of the era that they came out in. It is these are some 90s ass trendy teenagers. For better and for worse. But, like, I find myself, like, thinking about them far more than I'll ever think about the cast of Hunter x Hunter. Like, oh, do I care about the soft but secretly edgy boy of Kurapika when Kurama exists? And the answer is I'm more into Kurama. He's so much cooler. And do I care about Kurapika? I mean, not Kurapika. Yeah, No. Am I getting characters' names confused? Kurapika was the blonde-haired kid, right? Killua? Killua. That was his name. Killua, the not Hiei of the show. And I'm like, I would much rather a Hiei than a Killua. I'll be honest. And, you know, Gon being a Goku clone, he's fine. He's as standard as you get for, like, Goku clones. Oh, but he goes through more development, blah, 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 blah. Look, the initial construction, that's a Goku clone. If you want to be extra generous, he's a Luffy clone. Yeah. Oh, fuck. I'm also, like, kind of waiting for Hunter x Hunter to get canceled. You know what I mean? Like, I would feel better trying to sit down and read it if it was just canceled. I also kind of wanted to get canceled for Togashi's sake. Because I feel like he's only still working on it because he said he would finish this back in the 90s. Or was it early 2000s? When did Hunter x Hunter start? I don't remember. Whenever it like first started coming out, there was that author's note in which he said like, I won't run away from this project. And I'm like, sir, I realize you feel bad about canceling Yu Yu Hakusho. But maybe you shouldn't. Maybe it was okay that you just didn't want to make your manga anymore. Like, you do you, man. I know that he got a lot of flack back in the day for canceling it. That was reasonable. Well, like, kind of reasonable, right? Like, I understand why he did it. Let's see here. There we go. I wonder if anyone will be happy that I decided to draw this lad. There really aren't many, like, Jeremy Simps in the world, right? I guess there's Diesel. Diesel will sometimes comment on my tweets. Be like, but when's the Jeremy drawing? So I guess he'll be happy about this. Because I was deciding between either this lad or Clint before I had started the stream. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna draw Jeremy. I'm gonna draw this little guy because he's cute. He's got a cute design. He's got like kind of a cute personality. I don't know, when I think of Jeremy, I think of that scene in Jenna's Route where he just kind of like shoots the shit with Jenna for a minute. And he's like not really antagonistic or anything, and it's just, oh, huh. Is this how he normally is? Is this how he is outside of all of the drug ring stuff? It's interesting. I have returned with coffee. Oh, I gotta get that caffeine. I know that feeling. But I just use the sody for that. Some good old sody pep. So what do you all say? What are you a soda kind of guy, or are you a pop kind of guy? Like, where because where I live, we say soda. But, like where some of my family lives, they say pop. So whenever, like, I don't understand that question. Oh, okay. So, like, in certain parts of America, people will say soda. And in some parts of America, they'll call it pop, because it's soda pop. So, like, the slang is slightly different depending on, like, what part of the country you're in. And I do think it's funny that whenever I, like, go up north to visit family, like, everyone says pop over there. And there's always, like, there's always this slight pause when I say soda. Where you can tell that they're, like, trying to process what I just said. Pop, ironically. Sody pop. Reasonable, reasonable. I've never been in a place where, like, where people regularly say the full, like, soda pop. It's always either soda or pop. That's what I'm used to hearing. And most of the places I've lived just say soda, so... Is fine. Mixing coffee, coconut water, and honey. I don't know about that one. Well, like, one, I don't like... Do I like any of those ingredients? I'm not really a honey person. I don't like coffee. And I'm not really one for coconut water. So, that drink sounds a little horrendous to me. But if that's your thing, that's your thing. You know, I know plenty of people who like all of those ingredients. Most of which being family members. I mean, I get it. Most of my family grew up with, like, coconut milk. And I'm the one sitting over there going, I'm Americanized. It's like, oh no, I'm too American for this. No thanks. If I drink them like that? Oh, good, good. I am not the only one, then. Not the milk, coconut. Oh, that... You know what I mean. I meant to say coconut water. Look, it's fine. Look, it's fine. You all know I can barely comprehend letters. Because reading for me is hard. Should I have probably gotten, like, some sort of tested when I was younger? Probably. But what would that have told me besides that my brain is incorrect? Which is, like, that's a fact I already know. Like, what's wrong with Naruto? Oh, serious. We just don't have the time. We don't have the time. Like, where do you want to start? Like, it's so... No. Like, I'd want to say that the easy answer for what's wrong with Naruto is that, like, the mangaka isn't a trained mangaka. And thus, like, there's a lot of just, like, issues with how the series is, like, made. And that was never rectified. And that's just due to the inexperience of the author. Because he's like... Kishimoto was easily like the weakest author of the big three, you know? You had Oda doing One Piece, you had Kubo doing Bleach, and you had Kishimoto over there being like, I'm gonna quit art and become a baseball player. And so he spent his college years studying like sports. And you can like see how far behind he was compared to his contemporaries with how their mangas were made. And that's not like inherently a bad thing. It really isn't. It's just there are issues that creep up in Naruto because of that, and that hurts the series as like for its quality going forward. For most people, that's not gonna really matter, you know? Let's see. I don't want to approach doing some of that head for some of these. I always enjoyed Bleach the most. One Piece just has like some of the better construction as a manga, because One Piece like sets itself up to go forever. As much as people like shit on like One Piece and its length, Oda gave himself so much wiggle room to just do what he wants forever. And he clearly, you know, he thought about that going into the series of just like, oh, here, if the manga becomes popular, I can do all of these ideas because I'll have like the time and clout to do so. And that is exactly what he did. Because boy, you can tell which arcs were not planned from the start. Because it's like, oh, if this manga didn't get popular, we would have not gotten Alabasta, what's it called? Skypiea, Thriller's Bark. Like, those are filler. like they end up working in Alabasta in the long run, of course, but you can tell that was him playing around with like the formatting rather than like writing a more continuous story. Because like Alabasta does not matter in the long run. Oh, but it introduces Crocodile, and yeah, and they can do that in so many other ways. This was just a like that wouldn't have needed to be like a like story, like a 2-year-long story arc. That was him just playing around, doing the thing. That was back when he still did creative fights. Oh, that's a mean criticism. Like, sure, once you get to a certain point, I was skipping the fight scenes in that manga because I don't care. I can only take Battle of Armament Hockey for so long before I'm like, I'm kind of done, Oda. Who is Armament Hockey is more mastered than the other person. Oh, he's using his observation hockey to overcome his opponent's armament hockey. Like, okay, sure. I don't care. Will he use his conqueror's hockey to try to knock out his, like, sure, I don't. This is just rock, paper, scissors at this point. But that's an issue at post-time skip writing, so it's fine. I feel like Naruto has some really bad character development. There's character development in Naruto? Like, that's news to me. I thought that manga was just there for fight scenes and to have a bunch of women standing around as fat bait. You know, for the teenage boys in the audience. I hear a lot of people say that Tamari was very influential on them. Yep. I mean, I guess you can do worse for waifus. Tamari at least has, like, a personality. And, you know, she gets there, if you know what I mean. She's not the forgotten girl that is Sakura by the writer. It's like, Jesus, Hinata gets more clout across the legacy of Naruto. And I'm pretty sure that's just because of the voice actress. Because what, she's voiced by Nana Mizuki, right? If I remember right. Because I think so. I remember that being a thing. I could be wrong. The Chun-Li knockoff. Oh, Tenten? No. That implies that she was ever on the board to be forgotten. Like, you knew going into her introduction that she was never going to matter. That was never on the table. Then immediately... Oh, yeah. I mean, the last thing I remember Sakura doing that was relevant was, like, the Puppet Master fight. I don't remember her doing anything after that. I also stopped reading somewhere along the way, so maybe she did something later. Because I think I finally checked out somewhere around the Pain fight. I was pretty done. I just didn't care. I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about Pain. Didn't care about Naruto and his shitty, like, Shuriken Rasengan wind bullshit. Didn't care about the characters by that point. I'm just like, let this end. That implies I ever really cared about the characters, but you know. I mean, like, in my head, I'm like, so why wasn't Shikamaru the main character? That must have been a pitch at some point. Because Shikamaru gets so much play for no reason. Because he's not important. He's not really connected to anything that's important. But boy, does Kishimoto keep using the character. And yo, he gets with his girl. He does it. He gets there. He impresses the girl he was trying to impress. Like... and does the thing. He's not dumb enough to be a shonen MC. That's not entirely true. He's just dumb in a different way, right? Besides, you have main characters in Shonen Jump manga that are smart. Remember, guys, Goku is supposed to be a genius. Like, actually. like I've never really sat down and watched the dub, so I don't know if this was like taken out of the dub, but this is a mentioned thing in the manga, at least. That like Goku is a genius. The problem is that he's a country boy and thus doesn't have like the social skills to like come off as smart. And I kind of always thought that that dynamic was really funny. It's the reason why when they're doing a lot of exposition, like Goku nods and goes, "Yeah, I get it." And like that's not like a gag. It's just, yeah, he gets it. Like Super gave him a power up that makes him literally head empty. It's not literally head empty. But I get what you mean. Though it is annoying that the anime and manga explain Ultra Instinct differently. So it really muddies like what that form actually does. And then there's the difference between Ultra Instinct Sign and then Ultra Instinct Master, which are different forms and function differently. Because they really didn't want Ultra Instinct to come off as just another level of Super Saiyan. And I think they overshot it a bit, and now it's like almost annoyingly complicated to parse. Probably the reason why they don't even use Ultra Instinct for the final battle in the Super anime. They just have Goku go base Super Saiyan. Because fuck it. In other words, don't consume Dragon Ball Z. I think it's funny to go, like, straight from Dragon Ball to Super. They don't? So in, like, the actual final fight between Goku and Jiren, he does not go Ultra Instinct. He goes Ultra Instinct for part of the earlier fight with Jiren, but when it's like for the final 2 episodes, it's just base Super Saiyan because Goku can't use Ultra Instinct anymore. Which, like, is kind of fun. I certainly like the idea that, like, Goku can't use Ultra Instinct if he's too worried about something. So it, like, being the end of the Tournament of Power, like there was a little bit too much at stake, so we couldn't access Ultra Instinct. That and like, thank God it wasn't just, you know, blue. I don't like the blue form. Like Super Saiyan Blue. I think it kind of, like, it looks ugly and thematically it's dumb. Though, you know, I have the bad opinion that I actually really like Super Saiyan God. Like, I think that's my favorite transformation for Goku. It's just like, oh, like, Super Saiyan God just looks good. Like, we can argue about the color all we want. Like, that's a fair argument. Because the red looks kind of stupid. But, yo, the design? Oh. Red hair? Yeah, Super Saiyan God is the red-haired one. Like, it's a fun idea. It's a cool, like, visual reference. Like, oh. That's what I want out of a Super Saiyan form, like. Because what, the idea is that it pushes Goku to his body's peak. And the way they visually represent that is he gets a little younger. And as far as, like, design sensibilities go, they have Goku look more like the old Maeda designs, which was very, like, that's a very beloved era of, like, character design for Dragon Ball. So having, like, Super Saiyan God kind of go back to that specific design sensibility is really neat. Oh, hello, Keys. Like, Super Saiyan. Super Saiyans. Like, base Super Saiyan sucks, but that's another thing. That form is not in Fighter Z. Yeah, I know. It's because, like, for a while, they kind of thought of Super Saiyan God as, like, the stepping stone, like, form. So he, very rarely uses it. They later realized that was a mistake, and they brought back Super Saiyan God. And they made it different from Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, which, you know, that's the worst name for a Super Saiyan form. I kind of like it, though. It's, like, just dumb enough. Do they not just... Wait, change hair and get more ripped? So that's not how Super Saiyan forms work. When he just had Kaioken. Yo, but it was really cool when Goku learned to use Kaioken on top of Super Saiyan, so you had both auras going at the same time. That one's neat. When he goes Super Saiyan Blue and then goes Kaioken on top of that, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, he can do that? Like, wait a minute. That's cooler than this should be. That's dumb. Good. I clapped when I saw it. Is this the Dragon Ball cast, like, art stream? What do you think about Kyoken? Kyoken? Kyoken. It's just a thing my brain's not registering correctly. Wait, just Kaioken? Do you just mean like the Dragon Ball thing? Or am I missing something? I don't know. I hope not. I don't watch Super. What, you haven't watched Super, read the Super manga, and watched the Super films? I didn't watch the second Super film. It was about Gohan, so I just straight up skipped it, because I'm like, nah, fuck that noise. Call me when Gohan dies again. I'm so mean to him. My favorite scene with Gohan is when he's like so shitty and out of practice of being a fighter that he doesn't even know where his gi is and has to go into battle with a fucking like tracksuit and just gets bodied by Frieza. There's something so satisfying watching the privileged cuck that is Gohan just get the shit kicked out of him. Where he's like, oh, I'll go Super Saiyan. And you're like, Gohan, your weakest form is Super Saiyan. You're actively stronger in your base form than when you go Super Saiyan. Did you forget? And the answer is yes. In universe, he forgot how it's been so long since he fought. He forgot how his own powers worked. It's so funny. Oh, I don't get it. Oh, so Gohan back in near the end of Z unlocked something called the Ultimate Form, which is similar to just him in his base form, except he has a white ki aura around him, but his design doesn't change. So like his hair doesn't flare up outside of like the normal flaring up. It doesn't change color or anything. And it's in that state he is supposed to quote unquote always be at how do they explain it? He is always able to reach his maximum potential at any given moment while in that form. So it's better than base Super Saiyan. And they gave Gohan this so that he had something different other than Super Saiyan. So that could stay like Vegeta and Goku's thing. And it would give like Gohan his own super special thing to go into. And then the writers forgot about it. And then they remembered. And it just makes Gohan look really bad. This sounds so power crept. Yeah, and he lost in the first battle he used this form. Shit was real funny. They like spent so long going, Gohan will be our main man against Buu, right? He'll unlock the ultimate form because Goku can't unlock the ultimate form, despite the fact that they can totally just give Goku the ultimate form. And they gave it to Gohan instead. And they were like, oh, well, Gohan will take care of Buu, right? And then he just gets bodied and dies. He just dies and they have to call Goku again. And I'm like, this is about right. This is what I wanted to happen. Because I swear to God, if this manga ended with Gohan being the savior, I would have killed someone. It's so bad, like, that when I was playing the Dragon Ball card game, like when I used to play that on the regular, I straight up just wouldn't use Gohan cards. Like, sometimes, like, the deck would, you know, there's a generic good Gohan, and I would just say, I'm not using this. Like, you can't make me. I refuse.
I'm not going to use this shitty kid. Oh, yes, Slicks, this is the weed. Oh, you spelled Kaioken wrong? Oh, okay, yeah. I like Kaioken. I like Kaioken as a mechanic in universe far more than Super Saiyan. I understand why Super Saiyan exists. Toriyama wanted to do his job less. I get it. I understand. More power to you. But Super Saiyan sucks. Also, the issue, like the actual chapter that Goku gets Super Saiyan is so shit. It's such a shit chapter. Like, I don't know why it's such a fondly remembered moment for fans. Like, that issue sucks. It's such a give up button for Toriyama as a writer, because he just didn't care. Like, you go back to that chapter, it's illustrated like garbage. Because he just didn't care anymore. Goku's being written, like, so far out of character to justify it. And he just does not... There's so little effort put into, like, the finale of the Frieza saga. Or the Namek saga, however people want to fucking refer to it. You know, because it's Z, and Z is bad. Is Z the worst part of the franchise? See, it's unfortunate because GT exists. And I know it's the easy and popular thing to hate on GT. And I don't hate GT, I just think it's bad. You know, it be that way. There's just a lot of real awkward creative decisions done in GT. It's awkward. It's just a very awkward installment. Was driving school? Ah, the thing that's not even canon. I've actually never seen that scene. Because I read the manga instead of watching the anime. So there's a lot that, like, people talk about in Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like, is that a thing that happens? Like... It's weird. Because you also have, like, there's that moment that, like, everyone always talks about. Where it's, when... What, Kuririn throws a rock at Goku while he's in Super Saiyan, and it hits him, and they're like, oh no, like, it hit you? What? Like, that scene's not in the manga. That's just... That's not a conflict in the manga, like, at all. Like, it's like, no, when you're in Super Saiyan, your ki, like, your aura will deflect that shit. Don't worry about it. That was a thing added to the anime for extra drama, that it doesn't work that way. And boy, that makes it confusing. The premise is absurd, it's beautiful, amazing. Does Gohan get better when he's an adult? Okay. It depends on when he's an adult you're talking about. I still hate adult Gohan in Z, because now he's like... He's still a bad character, but now he's your point of view character for a bit. And then when he's not a point of view character, he's an edgy Chad that just gets bodied every fight scene he's in, so he doesn't even, like, actually feel like a Chad. No, he feels like a Chad, but in, like, a loser way.
And what is it? I actually like Super Era Gohan. I know that people really hate Super Era Gohan. I'm weird and I like him. Because it finally gives Gohan personal motivation. They finally just gave Gohan that. It's just like, oh, here, Gohan, he has this goal. He is doing that. And, like, people hated that. It was really funny. Oh, no, his personal goal is his family. How dare he? He should be cool in doing things. Excuse me? Like... Oh no, he's a nerd that wears glasses now. On purpose. Because he likes them. Oh, what's the thing that these two... The drivers... Oh, yeah. Amazing. Well, they needed to fill an episode, right? Okay. Well, don't know what was happening there. That was awkward. My tool wasn't working properly. But Dragon Ball's a mess, but it's a fun mess. I find that Dragon Ball's always at its best when it drops the whole end of the world shtick and just does, like, funny comedy, haha. Which is something that Super does a lot, and I think that's why I like Super more than Z, is... I feel like Super isn't just faking it. It's just like, no, we'll just have a good time. They'll play baseball this episode. Isn't that funny? And I'm like, yes, this is what I'm here for. I want to see all the characters having fun playing baseball. And even when they do, like, the end of the world plots in, like, Super, I find that I'm less annoyed by them. Weirdly enough. Because, like, I wouldn't say I'm a defender of the Universal Survival arc. But I thought it was fun. I weirdly had a good time watching that. Like, sure, it was 30 straight episodes of fight scenes. But I had a good time. Like, the combat scenarios were more comedic. It was a lot more fun. Characters, despite it being an end-of-the-world scenario, were a bit more laid back. A little more casual about it. And that made it just a little bit more fun. That made it a little bit more fun. That arc also gave me Bergamo. Yeah, predictably. I do like the Trio de Danger. I'm not sorry. I think that's like the only deck I still have in my Dragon Ball collection, is I do still have the Bergamo deck fully built. Just for prosperity. Oh, and I still have Kid Goku. Because, you know, it's a favorite era of Dragon Ball. Those are the two decks that I kept when I sold out of the game. Just for prosperity. Mainly because I played the Kid Goku deck the most out of, like, anything in my, like, 2.5 years of playing the Dragon Ball Super card game. That was the deck I played the most. Was Bond of Friendship Son Goku.
That one was fun. Oh yeah, like the Evil Dragon arc was kind of neat, but it was still like just pretty boring. It's like, oh, what a cute idea. Are we gonna do anything with it? No? Okay. The only thing that the Shadow Dragon arc had going for it was that the single episode where Goku fought Nova is so much better than it has any right to be. Like, the fights in GT are typically, like, pretty meh for the most part. But the Nova fight, that was something. Like, there's just a handful of fights in GT that are like, oh, they went a little above and beyond for this. Another one I always think about is, like, okay, if you're unfamiliar with GT, this wording is gonna be real weird, and I'm sorry. But, Baby Goten versus Vegeta. That fight, I've always thought was, like, really cool. But Baby is also, like, the only decent villain from GT, so... Those are words, right? It's unfortunate, because, like, Baby is probably better... No, I wouldn't say probably. Like, Baby is better Cell, but in a worse TV series. So that's unfortunate. And hey, if you watch that arc in Japanese, you also get the most cursed scene in all of Dragon Ball. And that's the episode where they go to the hospital. And you just have this awkward scene that I just do not know why it's in the show. I don't understand. And it's Pan is sitting there in, like, the courtyard of this hospital, right? Like, whatever. A deer walks up to her, puts its head up her shirt, and starts sucking on her nip. Why? Why is that a scene? Why? Like, why? So that scene got cut from the dub for very, very obvious reasons. This is in Dragon Ball. This is in Dragon Ball GT. It's something. It's very something. Man, poor Pan. That was, like, her only time she ever got to be relevant in the Dragon Ball canon, and she just never got there as a character. She never went Super Saiyan either. That's something that I always thought was really weird about GT, is, like, they would build up Pan multiple times, like she's going to do something in an arc, and then just doesn't. She never unlocks Super Saiyan. She never gets any form changes. She never wins a fight. Like, she never has, like, a one-on-one fight with a villain and, like, succeeds. It's really weird. And it's like, I don't dislike Pan. Like, she's there. She does her thing. But it is weird that she is the one Super Saiyan in the series that... Well, she's the one Saiyan that doesn't get Super Saiyan. There were no females. Yeah, like, there weren't. But, like, there's no reason why she couldn't go Super Saiyan. Like, there was never, like, an in-world explanation for why. And then when Super came around and gave us Caulifla and Kale, it was like, well, now there's less of, like...
Now there's no reason why Pan shouldn't be getting Super Saiyan. Like, it's weird. Like, they've retroactively gave both Raditz and Nappa Super Saiyan. Like in other stuff that's canon. Like, they've given them Super Saiyan. Yeah, there's like stuff between, but like in Super, they also never gave Pan Super Saiyan. It's just weird. It's so weird that she's just kind of locked from. It's apparently episode 125. Good. So it feels awkward that like Pan feels so shat on, despite the fact that she's never done anything wrong, other than like being Gohan's daughter, I guess. Like, you know, that is a strike against her, but you know, she doesn't get to choose that. I'm not putting her on that. Just watch that one singular episode and nothing else. I really could. But there was a lot of creative decisions in GT that were just real awkward. Them killing off Piccolo was real weird. That's something that just feels very awkward. Them turning 17 into a villain, a little awkward. Because it's like, well, why would... Like, okay. You had the weird Hell Dimension arc where they brought back all the former villains. That one was... That was a questionable story arc. They even brought back some of the movie villains, if I remember right. Which was like real awkward. It's like, who cares about Lord Slug? Other than me, exclusively in the card game. Is unfortunate. Yeah, it was weird. I was not a Dragon Ball kid growing up. This was like in college. I was researching like manga authors and realized I had never really touched Toriyama as an artist. Like, I knew so little about his work. And I was like, I guess I should like read all of his manga. And that was the year I read all of Dragon Ball and watched GT and Super and read the Super manga and watched all the movies. It was a weird year. It was like, oh, I suddenly have opinions on Dragon Ball. Weird. And everyone hates those opinions because I don't like Gohan. I found out that was a sticking point for most fans, is Gohan's apparently popular. And I was not aware. Lesson learned. That, and apparently people don't like Chi-Chi. I find that one weird. Or at least the American fan base doesn't seem to like Chi-Chi that much. I like Chi-Chi. She's just trying her best. In a world of many mistakes she has made, she is just trying her best. Oh, you know what? Let's get rid of this line, actually. Because she's an angry woman. But she's so justified with being angry. And not at the same time, you know? Chi-Chi produced Gohan. Yes. But you know what? Like, she really wanted a kid. I get that. And she tried her best. To, like, give him a good life. Didn't quite work out. But hey, that's why she had Goten afterwards, right? And boy, did the writers forget about Goten. Because Goten had, like, nothing to do in GT. That was, like, the time to give Goten something, and they instead turned him into a cock sleeve for baby. That's an odd statement. But not an incorrect one. That's fine. I'm sure that statement makes sense out of context. With Super Saiyan, I don't know. You have like Bulma, who for some reason is just the strongest. The Saiyans fear her. The gods fear her. I love how there is a guy, like, in Super, they introduce this guy that, like, will give anyone one answer. You can ask him one anything, and, like, then he won't, like, tell you anymore, right? And she, like, fucks up asking for the thing that she wants, and is like, oh, I'm not leaving until you tell me what I want to actually hear. I'm here for information. Cracks knuckles, cuts away. She comes back, yeah, so I know how to defeat the villain, guys. Like, she do it. Bulma's actually here to save the day. Like, every time. Every time, she's here for them. During the Goku Black arc, where Goku needs 5 minutes to set up a thing to defeat Zamasu, Bulma walks up, I can give you 5 minutes. 1v1 Zamasu. Like... She loses, but she gets those 5 minutes. Imagine if lunch was still relevant. Imagine if lunch was still canon. That's... I think that's still one of the saddest things, is she just is forgotten. That's the in-universe explanation. That's all we get. Tragedy. I loved Lunch. She was so cool. Like, the friendship, like, the budding friendship between Lunch and Bulma towards the tail end of Dragon Ball, legitimately, like, really neat. A shame that Toriyama just forgot she was a character. He didn't forget Chi-Chi. And that was a really awkward interview. Like, to read, where Toriyama had stated, like, he felt that making Chi-Chi was a mistake, and so he made her unlikable in Z on purpose as a punishment for himself for creating the character. His words, not mine. It's weird. Like, what like, really?
Like, sir. So if you ever wanted to know why Chi-Chi's written like she is, and you didn't know that, there you go. It's like he hated Chi-Chi, made her unlikable. He likes Bulma, so she got to be a badass for the rest of the franchise. Real weird. Odd dynamic. Like... Though now Bulma's inclusion is going to be awkward going forward. At least for the Japanese end of things. It's why she's like barely in Dragon Ball anymore. And that's just because like the actress died. So, and they don't want to like fully replace her. Like they've replaced her for like certain lines, but she hasn't been like a main character since the voice actress died. She only has like minor speaking roles now. Because they just don't know about like fully replacing the actress. Guess that's why the manga exists. She gets to still be like a main character in the manga, so, you know. Got that going for that, I guess. I do love knowing that, like, the staff for Dragon Ball said if Nozawa ever dies, like the voice actress for Goku, they will quit. We'd probably legitimately have to get a Dragon Ball reboot to recast everyone if Nozawa dies. Like... That will probably be like either the final nail in the coffin for the franchise or they're rebooting. And even then, I don't think they would reboot right away. I think they would wait like a decade. Cause she's too important, like, to the legacy of that franchise. It's weird that, like, it's a little weird, but it is what it is. Like, they just can't, you can't replace Nozawa. Not in the eyes of the Japanese public. Past the original series? Oh yeah, like for me, it's just like the original series is like great and everything else is pretty bad. Like, like I won't entirely mince words with that. Like the rest of the franchise is just pretty bad. There are moments that I like in the rest of the franchise, but it never feels as fun again. Like, I think Dragon Ball could have ended at, like, that moment that... What was it? Was it the last panel of original Dragon Ball? Where he flies off with Chi-Chi on the Nimbus? Like, that probably should have been the ending to Dragon Ball as a whole. But... Shonen Jump editorial say no. We need more volumes. This manga is on top of the world as it is. We are not canceling this. It is not gonna happen. It's just power escalation with different hair colors. So that isn't true. At least not in Super. Because the different forms now do different things. And Goku has to, like, actively use them in a more strategic way. Because, like, Super Saiyan God is different from Super Saiyan Blue, and they do different things from each other. And there are two versions of Ultra Instinct that do different things from each other. And it's something that, like, Vegeta is really bad at, but Goku is really good at swapping between forms and, like, using them properly. And that's, like, the difference in Super on how, like, Vegeta and Goku fight. Is Goku swaps between his different forms in combat, while Vegeta just goes blue and hopes for the best. And inevitably gets bodied. Like when he got almost murdered by a goat. Well, it was it's different in the manga versus the anime, but at the fight with Hit in the Universe 6 tournament arc, he Vegeta goes into the fight, goes blue, and immediately loses. Goku goes into the fight, transforms into Super Saiyan God, a weaker form than Blue, and immediately is fighting better than Vegeta was. Making Vegeta very upsetty. was very funny. Explain, please. I need to know. What about that fight? Oh, so Hit's whole thing is he has time stop. He kind of has time stop. It's weird. He has time stop when the plot demands that he has time stop, is the real explanation. And because of that, the slow but powerful form of Super Saiyan Blue will lose immediately. So Goku goes Super Saiyan God, which is a weaker form, but expends less stamina so that he can keep up with Hit. And just flips between Blue and God to actually, like, hit. That's an awkward way to phrase that. It's one of those moments that's supposed to tell you about how, like, Goku is a genius, but literally only at combat. And the manga does that a lot more than the anime does. Because it's why Goku has a much easier time against opponents that, like, Vegeta can't beat. And Vegeta will, like, I mean, not Vegeta. Goku will actually, like, pull out power sets in the manga that they don't show off in the anime because they're like, anime fans don't remember that Goku is psychic. So they just don't show that off in the anime half the time. Those scenes usually get removed or altered in some way. Because Goku just has telekinesis. Like, that is a thing in his power set that he does use on occasion. It was how he was able to fly originally. Like, rather than propelling himself forward with ki, he would actually use telekinesis to fly. It's there's a moment I really liked in the Broly movie, in the Super Broly film, where Goku wants to just talk to Broly, so he actually pulls out his psychic power to immobilize Broly just to talk to him. And it's like, oh shit, they remembered, like, it's like the only time in the modern anime that he actually, like, uses that power. It's like, oh, they remembered that he has that. Yeah, well, once they once they introduced Super Saiyan, they just stopped mentioning psychic powers in Dragon Ball. But that was a thing back in the original era. You would have characters that would use magic, use psychic abilities, and ki. But once you get to Z, they kind of just use ki powers from that point onwards. You don't really have, like, the interplay between, like, people with different power sets anymore. Which is something that's boring about Z, where it's like, what? Oh, we're just gonna forget that all of this exists? Okay. Yeah, Chaozu! His whole thing was that he was psychic. This little psychic vampire who cannot count. It was a lot of fun. Because you had that was like Tien's whole thing, was that he could use so many different abilities that he would, like, not outpower, but outplay his opponents. Until, like, Toriyama forgot that that was how Tien fought, and all he ever did was the Kikoho from that moment forth. Thanks, Z. Unfortunate. I love when they even forgot which techniques were used by Tien. Like, Tien was the character that introduced the Taioken. And then, like, way later, I think in either Z or Super, they go like, oh yeah, Krillin's special technique, the Taioken. And it's like, wait, that's Tien's move. What are you talking about? Give this man no respect. I will say that I wouldn't say I'm bitter about it, but Tien was my favorite antagonist. So him being just forgotten by, like, the sands of time, that kind of hurts. He was, like, one of the main villains that really actually, like, him and Goku actually had, like, a dynamic, and they played off of each other, both in dialogue and in when they fought. Like, it was neat. Very unfortunate. That's still also my favorite fight in the franchise. Just at the second Budokai, was he evil or just an obstacle? He was the villain for an arc. Like, Tien was the main villain for the second Budokai. And that was such a cool fight. That was one of the last times in which, like, Goku could not overpower his opponent, and so he had to figure out how to deal with every technique that Tien had. He needed to come up with a, like, on the fly, figure out a way to overcome it. That was, like, the last time that that ever happened in the franchise. Which definitely makes that fight far more dynamic than, like, anything you'll see in Z. Like, it also has, like, a really fun conclusion. Because I don't know if anyone, like, remembers that fight, but, like, Goku loses. He loses that round of the tournament. He wins, like, morally. So, like, he does, like, redeem Tien in that way, but, like, he does lose that fight. because it's supposed to be like a moral victory over a physical one. So do they become friends in the manga? Yeah, yeah. Well, that's like Goku's gimmick for most of Dragon Ball, is that he befriends his opponents more than anything else, because when he fights someone, he views them as like a, not a friend at first, but like Goku's like more honor bound in the original manga. So he usually does not see his opponents as villains, but just people to overcome. So like after the fights and stuff, he'll just like raise a hand and be like, "Oh, that was a great battle. Like thank you for the fight." And like it's his earnestness that causes like people to like think that they're in the wrong. That was always kind of supposed to be like Goku's greater strength that the franchise kind of forgot about until Super. Where Super brought it back, and now we have Frieza being more of a third-party character than a villain due to his interactions with Goku. And it's like, oh, they're bringing this like idea back. Cool. Now, are we gonna redeem Frost? No, we're just gonna kill him? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I liked Frost. He was funny. He was a quirky little villain, you know? He was one of those minor villains that I always like thought was fun. But I think he didn't come back. I think they just kill him. I think Beerus was like, yeah, no. Hakai. How are we gonna... Do I want to? Yeah, we'll ink that in. Maybe we'll... So what is Beerus up to currently? Oh, I don't know. I have not read the Dragon Ball Super manga in roughly 2 years now. So, I don't know. Last time I saw, he was just chilling, having a picnic. I think was the last scene I saw him in. Because he wanted to take the day off. You know, because it's Beerus. Let's work. We don't do that here. Maybe that shouldn't be inked. That's just a little awkward. If it's... Yeah. Maybe we'll do it like this then. Okay. Stealing their food? He doesn't need to steal their food. He'll just call up Bulma and be like, Bulma! Food! And she'll be like, no, get it your fucking self. And then he'll cry about it. And then Whis will go get it. You know, that's how this works. And, you know, and Whis will only do it if Beerus agrees to put out that night. You know how it is. The relationship between Whis and Beerus is a questionable one, you know. We all saw the way that Whis blushed when Beerus jumped out of his bath naked, and he was just like blushed, turned away, and was like, Beerus-sama, like. And it's like, oh, I see.
I see, I see. Yeah. Maybe just that's enough. I do like me some Beerus, though. He do be a funny cat. Champa's also pretty good. I was kind of just happy that, like, Super brought back Anthro characters to Dragon Ball. That was an aesthetic I was definitely missing from the franchise. It's like, Z, did you forget that the president is a furry? Like, and the answer was yes, they forgot. Toriyama forgot. That's the story of Dragon Ball, folks. Toriyama forgot. Okay, so have I managed to make this lad not just look like Tyson? That is... I know that, like, I draw my canines very similarly, but... you know. I feel like you can't just palette swap this man. I don't see Tyson here. Good, good. Go. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, that might be one of my new favorite lines I've ever seen in a VN. I can't imagine what you have to be on to type that in your script and go, yes, perfect. I want to know where you have to be in your life to do that. Because that is a time. It's so good. I want it to be like this. There we go. Gotta round that out. Oh my god. Oh my god. Good. This is the kind of, like,
dialogue I want. The entertainment value, it's too high. I could play it too. How that depends. How long is this game? How long is this game? How how long would it take for me to read it? Is it worth it? But it took Grizz what, 8 hours to do the last route and the epilogue? A good amount of sessions. Look. I mean, it's true though. I can't actually like say anything to that. Like my reading speed is poor. Let's say that. And that is just something I just have to accept about myself. Okay. It's a lot of technology speak. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. The VN version of Unleashed. I would be interested in playing that. I'm not gonna lie. I do love going online and seeing the great debate of which version of Sonic Unleashed you play, either the VN version or the like PS3, Xbox 360 versions. Like the debate is real, and I think that's funny. Well, the PS2 version, Imbro, of the of Sonic Unleashed doesn't have cutscenes, instead has like VN style text scenes. How is this a debate? People say that the PS2 version has better gameplay. Like there's better stages in the PS2 version. And people like the removal of the hub worlds. I mean, apparently people like that. So there we go. That's the debate, is like which one actually plays better, and apparently there's a lot of people that are like, nope, the PS2 version is just better. And I'm like, you know what? This is fascinating. It makes me want to play both versions just to see, you know? So I'd be curious to personally see which one I like more. The good news is that the PS3 version does let me play with dual audio. So I can actually play with voice acting I like for the Sonic cast. Because I much prefer the Japanese voice cast for Sonic. More of just a personal preference than anything else. I'd wager it would take... Okay, so we would have to shoot for 17 Ever 17 streams. That is what I'm hearing. We either have to, like, start having triple-sized streams by the end to cut it down to 17, or have shorter streams, depending on how things go. Look, Sonic just sounds not great in a lot of modern Sonic stuff, but he still sounds good in Japan. That, and I've always preferred Tails' Japanese voice. That one's just, you know. It's like, oh, Tails is cuter now. Cool. Like, we got there. How is he looking? I mean, he do be looking cute. He do be looking cute. Well, Sonic wasn't the issue in Sonic. I mainly picked the Japanese voice track for Frontiers because I thought it would be funny more than anything else. For Unleashed, it is mandatory, mainly because of Chip. I cannot listen to Chip's English VA. It's bad. Chip's Japanese voice? He's fine. I now, like, can tolerate Chip, like... Cause by default, I don't like Chip. That's not half, like, I don't like Chip very much. This is like, can we make a more annoying character than Charmy levels of... yeah, cause I don't like Chip. Nope. We ain't doing that. We are not doing that. So we are switching Chip to Nipponese. If we decide to play Sonic. But I don't know. Sonic Frontier was not an enjoyable experience, so I don't know about playing other Sonic games. People were like, this is a good one. You'll like it, Josh. And I'm like, okay. No, this was not fun. This was awful. Like, the open world's too big. It sucks to move around. Like, the combat sucks. The boss fights feel like they don't work half the time. That also could just be me. I realize that I'm bad at playing Sonic game, but like, come on, like, they give you the get out of gameplay, like, just so I don't even have to actually like play the game. It's just like, cool, you can go fishing for an hour and circumvent the entire game. Like, oh yeah, those will be good stream content. Let's go. Sit there fishing for, what, 40 minutes straight? Just so I don't have to do the final, like, island. Or the third one, for that matter. I think I only did the first 2 islands, like, properly. I think the rest I was just like, we're fishing, baby. And fuck that 3rd island. Oh my god. Making me motion sick with the constant camera changes for no reason. Jesus Christ. Is what it is. Well, I think that's it for this drawing. So I will end the stream here. I hope you enjoy the Jeremy drawn. I know that he's not everyone's favorite, but I like him. I like him a lot. So I'll see you guys around.